Yo, 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 what going on, everybody? It's your boy TBL to the wall. You done know. Back again with another video, man. Before I get into this video, I definitely want to make sure that if you're watching this right now and you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button, man. It goes a long way. I just recently popped 500 subscribers. Thank you so much. But for now, in this video, I want to talk about something that came up when I was talking about, and this is another surprise, man. I finished the book. So this is a rough draft, still going through the final tweaks and the final edits, but it is the attraction blueprint. I'm very proud of this body of work, man. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Very soon, I'm going to be rolling out pre-orders. We're going to have an audiobook. We're going to have an ebook. You're going to be able to purchase it off of Amazon. But for now, man, I just wanted to show you guys first. It is done. At least the primary draft is done of the manuscript. It's the full blueprint, man. It's everything that you're going to need to know. This is the complete blueprint, man. So here it is, 20 Bon Jovi LaBeat, TBL, to the world you don't know. So while I was talking about the book and we was going over some of the sections, something that keep coming up was, he was talking about the feminism and the red pill spaces. And in that conversation, I kind of like had the light bulb go off and I realized that to me, feminism, right? Modern feminism is for women what the recent rhetoric in the red pill spaces are for men. I think that the feminism movement and the red pill movement originally both started as very good things. They both had their place and they both were very necessary things. Over time though, on both sides, feminism and the red pill community, it evolved into something that it wasn't originally intended to be. Right now, when you hear things like, she's a feminist, it's a red pill podcast, it's usually associated with a negative connotation. And you start to associate other things with it. You start to hear people bundle up incels and all of that type of stuff in the red pill space. Same with feminism. That's not what these things were originally intended for. So in this video, I want to break down how we got here, where things are right now when it comes to when we're talking about feminism and the red pill movement, and what they were intended to be. And I'm going to talk about where we actually need to be as a society, so that we don't have this big divide that we have right now. The current state of society, the dating market itself is trash. I think a lot of people are cooked. If we don't have a mindset shift real soon, man, we're going to start seeing a lot more of what we've been seeing recently. People are unhappy. People are confused all over the place. They don't know what they want to identify themselves as. There's chaos, lack of structure, lack of responsibility, and lack of purpose. So this video isn't a rant. It's more of a reality check. Both red pill and feminism, they both start for a very honest reason, helping people understand, grow, evolve. But when belief systems start shifting into toxic ideologies, that's when they lose their soul. So let's look at how this happened. And let's also talk about what men and women both need right now. So let's look at feminism first. It was originally created to give women the access to fairness and opportunity and balance. Once upon a time, women didn't have rights. They didn't have access. They were considered property. It was a whole different structure and setup back then. It is very important that we create an environment where everyone has equal opportunity. I'm not saying equal outcome now, but everyone should have access to the same level of opportunities that the other person has, regardless of race, gender. So when it came to feminism, it was creating that opportunity for fairness and for balance. So originally, it had a very good purpose. Women wanted to be able to have the right to vote. They wanted to be able to have the right to, if they want to walk, they can go to walk. They wanted to be able to have the same rights that men have. So it was a very important movement when it originated. Now let's look at the whole red pill movement. It was originally created because most men do not understand female nature. They are struggling in the dating market. It was created to help men understand social dynamics. Like I say, female nature, chasing purpose, and achieving things in this world. The rate at which men were offing themselves and being devastated by relationships and not understanding how to navigate the dating market, not understanding how to find purpose. Men without purpose can be a dangerous thing. So men needed purpose. The red pill, and I think it was referenced from the Matrix when Morpheus held out his hand and he had the red pill in one hand and the blue pill in one hand. And the blue pill was jumping back into the simulation and believing the lies that society puts in your face. And then the red pill was you become awake and you wake up like Neo did, and he had the tube in his mouth, and the real world is this crazy tough place and you have to fight and rebellion. So you needed to open up men's eyes as to what the world is really about, what female nature is really about, how to navigate it, how to give them purpose, how to find themselves so that they don't have the negative consequences that most men were facing. See, the thing is, both men and women had their fair share of struggles throughout the years. They just looked different, but both women and men had their fair share of struggles. So both of these movements, feminism and the red pill movement, they both had value. Neither of them was supposed to be about dominance, superiority. They were actually about understanding and equality in purpose. It was a very positive thing. Now, let's fast forward a couple decades. Let's look at a shift in feminism. I had an opening in my channel to tell people to listen. If she says she's a feminist, avoid her, especially in 2025. If she's saying she's a feminist, right, 9 out of 10 times, all that's telling you is that she has the mindset, like, I don't need a man. Men are the problem. Men are bad. If you pay attention and observe the modern feminists, It's all about superiority. I could go through my TikTok right now and I could look at all the comments under my shorts, and there's women saying, we don't need men. What do we need men for? Society was built by men. By the way, just so y'all understand, society was built by men. So when you hear women saying they don't need men, I'd just be scratching my head like, who you think is gonna get up and do the hard jobs that you guys don't want to do? And to be honest with you, right, that ain't even the issue. I mean, that's the little nuanced stuff that we could talk about. The real issue is that shift impacted partnership dynamics, expectations, and roles. The thing is, right, the way we are designed, men and women are designed different. On a biological level, there's light, there's darkness, there's good, there's evil. There's always a distinction between two sides. And right now, with the way things are, they're trying to blur the line between those distinctions. And when you blur the lines, you remove the roles, you don't want to box people in. Nobody know what's going on. It's all chaos. You have people that don't know what gender is. You have people that don't know what this, that, or third. Where there is no order, there will be chaos. And roles are not limitations. That's where we have in the disconnect. Roles are not limitations. Roles are responsibilities, both on the man and the woman side. Now let's look at the shift in the red pill community. Originally, it was about self-awareness, self-improvement, and understanding male value. A lot of men didn't feel valued, appreciated, or understood. So the red pill movement was a way to support masculinity, support being a man, uplift men uplifting other men. That's what it was originally intended to be for. And I'm not saying it's completely shifted from that. There's a lot of podcasts, there's a lot of channels that's dedicated to red pill content that still support this narrative. There's a quote. I don't know who came up with it, so don't come at me. This is not my words, but there's a quote that goes, strong men bring good times. Good times bring weak men. Weak men bring hard times. Hard times bring strong men. Strong men bring good times, and so forth and so forth. So we need more spaces that encourage men to be strong men, because without strong men, there's going to be hard time. We need strong men in order to have those good times. The problem now is that we pitting men against women. Men are so frustrated right now with the way that things are, that instead of stepping up to the plate and doing what we're supposed to be doing, setting a tone, setting an example, and leading the ship, now men just getting upset and they're saying women ain't shit, women too difficult, women too complicated, women is the problem, it's our women's fault. And I said this multiple times in my channel, I think it's the men's fault. I think men are the ones that lead the situation and set the tone. If all the men in the world was to get together and say, you know what, we're going to stop simping, we're going to stop spending money on OnlyFans, I promise you, right, ain't have a single woman out here that doing all the things that you complaining about. See, the thing is, right, the wrong narratives, they're going to make you bitter. Let's talk about the parallels. Let's talk about how they overlap, the red pill and the feminism movement. So both movements emerged because some people were treated unfairly, and some people feel like they were being ignored. Both movements, they did challenge traditional norms. And both movements, they gave language to groups that felt misunderstood and unheard. The problem is when empowerment just becomes opposition. Like, here's the opponent. They lose their purpose. Both sides, red pill and feminism, they are losing their intended purpose. Now it's just about a war. It's like one side versus the other. The differences between the two now is feminism deals with like female autonomy. Women wanted their rights. They wanted their autonomy. They wanted equality. It's turned into superiority, but originally it was about equality and fairness. Whereas the red pill now, that was more focused on agency, male value, masculinity, purpose, male empowerment. So feminism dealt with more like the social systems, whereas the red pill, it dealt more with like the dating market, masculinity, mating. And that's where the mistakes different, but that's why they're important. Feminism, that overcorrection, it pushes away partnership. And red pill, the overcorrection, it dismisses collaboration. And that's the thing. We need partnership and collaboration. This is the foundational structure to families. As a species, right, we have to survive. We have to create families. We have to have kids. If everybody here decided to be like, you know what? I don't want a relationship. I don't want a family. This is it. We go extinct. We are biologically designed to survive. This is why sex feels so good. We have these instincts wired in us. Women want to inherently be feminine. Men want to inherently be masculine. We thrive when there is polarity, when there is balance. We don't thrive when there's extremes. When women go too far off the edge or men go too far off the rails, that's when you see this war that we're having right now. Listen, you can't go on YouTube or Facebook and you can't find some podcast with a man arguing with a woman arguing with a man. You cannot avoid it. You can't avoid it if you tried. We need more balance. We need more masculine, strong men and more supportive feminine women. We need partnership based on mutual respect. We need to recognize the value in those distinctions, in those roles. We need to move away from the ideologies and back to purpose and partnership. Let me tell you something. When you have a woman that is feminine and supportive, as a man, it is one of the most energizing and motivating things you could have out there. You feel like Superman. And as a woman, when you have a man that is strong and competent and capable and you could just kick back and relax and you feel safe and secure. That is one of the best feelings that you could have. Somewhere along the line, right, we went from trying to get together and build families and communities and value systems. I remember when I was in college, right, and one of my professors, he showed me this video and he was talking about, how they try and make women more masculine, and they were showing a bunch of like the rap videos with like Missy Elliott and all that type of stuff. And he was talking about how they were trying to make men more feminine, pacify the masculinity in them. And you have to think about it, right? Whoever agenda against us, people talk about it from a capitalistic perspective. People talk about it from like the men behind the curtain, whatever you want to call it. Whoever it is that is trying to control us, let's just put it as that, right? You cannot control a society that is tightly knitted, that's strong from the inside. You ever see the movie 300? You see how Leonidas had a handful of soldiers, and they had the shields and the spears. They were able to hold off thousands and thousands of Persians and Xerxes, and that's what strong men look like. When they're tight knit, they're well organized. They focus, they have purpose and drive and structure. They're able to take down armies and armies and armies. You can't do that to a society with strong men, with strong leadership. But you can break us down from within. And what easier way to break us down than to attack the family unit? To make women think they don't need men, and to make men feel like they're not men. That is the easiest way to sell us protection, security systems, antidepressants, pharmaceutical drugs, and all of these type of things that they are trying to sell us and tell us that we need in order to survive. When you look at kids that's raised with both the mom and the dad, and you see the household where she's respectful, he's respectful, they have a healthy dynamic. He's the leader, he's strong and he's competent. And you have the wife that's supportive and she holds the fort down. You talk to so many women these days and they're like, yo, I don't want a family, I don't want kids. Which is crazy to me. Because when you see, let me tell you something. I don't want our police to come for me. I'm not saying that every single man or every single woman want these things. I'm just saying that inherently, the majority of us, majority of men want to be masculine. Majority of women want to be feminine. They want to be in their feminine. But as a society, we've gotten to the point where instead of aiming for those things, we try and cut each other's throats. The thing that you need to understand is that it's not about picking sides. It's about understanding that the tools that we once needed, they all got twisted up somewhere along the way. If both men and women reclaim their purpose, roles, and respect for each other, then the power comes back. Because now we are unshakable. We are unmovable. We are a community. We are tight-knit. We are together. Together we are strong. If you go to a Red Pill podcast and you see them saying things like, there's no need for women. We don't have no need for women. We could just make money. All they good for is sex. 9 out of 10 times, them is the type of dudes that are going to end up with women that are going to take the money. Men need women. Women need men. I can't have kids with another man. I don't want to deal with buff, masculine dude in my bed, laying down next to me, scratching my back, rubbing my back. In the same way how ladies, you don't want to go there and work 60 hours and have to come home and cook for your kids, take out the trash, mow the lawn, and if a burglar break into your house, you have to run downstairs with a baseball bat and fight them off. The whole point of this, man, is that there is a very big difference and big distinction between how men operate and how women operate. The things that men bring to the table and the things that women bring to the table. And this is for a reason. This is how we were designed. By God. It is intended to be this way. The farther and farther away you go from those traditional roles on either side, the more and more difficult it's going to be to exist within those parameters. Now, the reason I bring that up is because the farther and farther away we get from the traditional roles, and I feel, is the more we gain from men being masculine and women being feminine. At the end of the day, men and women were designed to complement each other, not compete with each other. The masculine energy provides protection, solution, and structure. The feminine is like the soul. It provides stability and softness. That's the formula that built every strong family and every great society. A lot of people call me a misogynist because I think that men should be out there building themselves up, working hard, find a quality partner they can have some kids with and build a family. And they're going to call me a misogynist for saying that some of these women out there need to just chill, relax, find herself a good man, vet one, stop giving the pom away to everybody, and just find a good man that she really respect, admire, and look up to, that she could trust. Have a family with that dude. Create a household. They're going to call me a misogynist for this. Once upon a time, this was the norm. And right now in 2025, people watching this video and tell me I'm a misogynist and I'm a bigot and I'm oppressive and I try and box women in and box men in. If things were so great, things wouldn't be the way it is. We have more women on antidepressants. The self-deletion rate is through the roof. Men are taking themselves out. Things are getting bad. The economy is shit. Once upon a time, one guy could have walked. I remember watching this sitcom. I can't remember where it was back in the day. Panama was like working at a shoe factory, and he had a house with 3 kids and a wife, and he was taking care of everything. She was just chilling. You can't even do that no more. So if we don't have more men stepping up to the plate and being the men that they're supposed to be, and women stepping up to the plate and being the women that they're supposed to be, it's gonna be all out war. This video, like I said, it wasn't a rant. It was more of a wake-up call, an acknowledgement of the times and how they've changed. Originally, feminism and the whole Red Pill movement, they started as something good. Over time, they evolved into something else. Fellas, if you're watching this, I think that if you sit there and you start to blame women and you start to think that this is just the way it is, you are making excuses and victimizing yourself instead of stepping up and doing what it is you gotta do in order to get a quality woman. Read this book. If you go through this book, right, this is going to tell you everything that you need to know in order to become the man that you need to be and to get the type of woman that you want, the quality woman that you want, and have her respect you and desire you and want you. How to attract the woman of your dreams. How to get the woman that you deserve. So I hope this video was helpful, man. I just wanted to share some thoughts. And like I said, that conversation I had about the red pill and the feminism movement. I think that right now, modern feminism and the modern red pill movement are, the modern red pill movement is for men, what modern feminism is for women. And then ultimately, right, if you get more men stepping up to the plate and doing what they have to do as leaders of this society, everyone else gonna fall in line. You can't take down a society with strong, capable, competent men. Get ready, because the book is coming out. It's called Attraction Blueprint. I'm gonna be taking pre-orders soon, and I'm very excited to get this out to you guys, man. I've been putting a lot of work, a lot of effort into making this thing here just right. It covers everything, and I know it looks thick. This is because right now I have it on the full paper size. I think it's gonna be more like this size, like the 6x9. I'm gonna keep you guys updated every step of the way. I just wanted to get this video out to you, man. I think it's important that we had this conversation. And until the next one, man, if you know someone that's going through a situation and you think that they could benefit from the information on my channel, send them my page. Follow me on our platforms. And until the next one, it's TBL to the world.
To the world. Yeah, hear me now. TBL, them can't stop with. Can't hold me down. Enough of them a pray for lightning shock with. And we see we lifeless, but